Hi Flosstube, welcome back to my channel, Cakes and Stitches. I'm Keely and I'm here today for my Flosstube number 8. It's been a little while. We last spoke at the beginning of October and I had every intention of being back at the beginning of November. However, we've had the half term here in the UK, which was unusually late in the year and didn't finish until the 4th of November. So for the last week I've kind of been playing catch up, trying to get back straight again, hence why I am a little bit late. However, I'm here now, ready to show you what I worked on in October. There will be a little bit of November stitching in there because some of my October projects have been out again this month. However, if there's anything I've only touched in November, I'm not going to show you that today. I will show you that next time I see you. So I thought I would start today by showing you a past FFO. So here it is. So let's try not to get any glare. As you can probably see with this huge sunbeam over here, it is a very sunny day here in the UK today, which is glorious for mid-November. But it might present a few problems with lighting. Hopefully we can overcome that. So this is Halloween Bird by Yasmin's Made with Love. I think I stitched this last year. He's just, let's hold him there. He's just in a simple frame from Sainsbury's, this is from, and he's been up for the last couple of weeks as it's been Halloween. He's gorgeous. I love the colours in him. He was a nice simple stitch, didn't take too long, but really pleased with the result. He is stitched on a 14 count Ada. I just went and checked this because I couldn't remember who it was dyed by. It's dyed by Chromatic Alchemy, and I believe they're not dyeing anymore, which is a shame. They had some really lovely colours, but fortunately I have got a little piece of this left. So here, so really nice. I wasn't sure about it when I got it. It's called Dune, so I was expecting like sand dunes, kind of a golden yellow colour, and when it arrived and it's quite brown, I was unsure. But I think you'll agree on this sort of pattern with these autumnal colours, it works really well. So I'll be keeping that ready for something else autumnal in the future. I do have another finish, which I've just realised I've left downstairs. I'm going to pause you. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Probably a little bit out of breath because I'm filming in the loft and I had to go all the way downstairs, but we're back. Okay, nearly forgot my finish. So this is this month's finish. Can we hold it? About there. That better. There we go. Again, this light, that's better. Light's not helping me. So this is called the Graveyard. It is a pattern from Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2024, which is this issue here. So I got this in the summer from Megan at Coffee Craft Fabrics, and I really wanted to use it and stitch something up. I did intend to get this done ready for Halloween and fully finished, but you know, time and all that. So I got it finished though, really pleased with it. I didn't use called for colours, I just selected similar colours from Stash, and this is stitched on I think it's a 16 count. It might be a 14 count that's tightened up a bit because of the hand dyeing, and it's from Stitchy Ferret, and it's something I got on one of her 5 for Friday deals. So I'm not sure the name of it or anything, but yeah, I think it works really well with that. So pleased with that. And that will just go in a drawer now, probably until next autumn to be finished for next Halloween. So that's all my finished stuff. Let's get on to whips. I'm going to have a quick gulp of coffee. Okay, so I've got a few whips to share with you. I set myself quite a lot of goals in October. I really enjoyed my goals in September and I met them all. And I think I got a bit overexcited with the goal setting and set myself maybe a couple too many for October, so I didn't meet my October goals, but I did still get a lot of stitching done, and I still managed to touch quite a lot of projects, which is good. So first up, this is still in its Nerge hoop because I was working on it last night. I'll just open it out a bit. So I'm not going to take it out, there's a tiny bit cut off. Sit back a bit, there we go. There's a tiny section of the gingerbread house cut off there, but hopefully you can see most of it. So this is the Holly Jolly Kitchen stitch along from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So I bought the kit for this. This is on 14 count Ada, which I chose because I wanted it to be a nice relaxing in front of the TV of an evening stitch. As it happens, it's probably a little bit more involved than I thought it would be, but it's looking beautiful and I'm enjoying stitching it. It's perhaps just not as chilled as I was expecting. So part one was this gingerbread house, which I managed to finish in the 2 weeks that we had for that clue. Part two, so last month I said that I was going to try and keep up with the clues. Well, I mean, that nowhere near has happened, isn't going to happen. The clues that each month or each 2 weeks that you get a piece, there is a lot of stitching. So this section, when it came out, had this Christmas cake, the little basket of eggs. There's, just looking at my pattern, which I can't show you because it's just a pattern. There's a Christmas pudding here. There's a mixing bowl. There's a plate of cookies. I think that's it for that section. And this cake is gorgeous. I'll bring it a little bit closer. The effect with the fruit cake in there is fabulous, but my goodness, there was a lot of stitching in there, and white stitches, as I'm sure you all know, can be quite hard going. I was railroading my stitches to try and keep them neat, so they took a really long time. So yeah, keeping up, it's just not going to happen. So I did that for part two. Part three came out. So part three is this shelf here, which runs a little bit further along there. We've got some weighing scales, which I've almost finished stitching. There's a KitchenAid mixer. I'm calling it KitchenAid mixer because that's what I've got next to it. And I'm going to do some colour changing. I've already started colour changing here with this bauble, because the mixer that comes up here is pink and my KitchenAid mixer is red because it's my favourite colour. So I'm going to stitch the KitchenAid mixer in red and then switch some of the, there's a big red bauble here, I'm going to make that pink so that I compensate for the colour use as soon as it's a kit. So yeah, I'm going to make those changes. So I'm going to try and get a bit more of this part done. I'm going to try and get this bauble finished and either the other bauble or the KitchenAid mixer before I put this away again. I'm not sure which. But yeah, I won't be keeping up. I think I'd have to be working just on this, and that's not going to happen. I'm not a monogamous stitcher. I like to change what I'm doing every couple of days. So we'll just keep along as much as I can, and maybe this will be a finish for next Christmas. You never know. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it in my Nurge hoop, which I like. They keep the fabric nice and taut. My only issue with them is I find them a bit uncomfortable to hold. I've started looking at stand options and things. I can't afford a Lowry, so I have been looking on Amazon to see what other stand options are available. I do have a Nurge table stand, but it doesn't hold the Nurge square hoops very securely. It feels like they're moving all the time, so that's something to think about. Anyway, that's kept in this bag, which I made myself, which is incredibly dodgy and has got this little sticker piece of fabric there to hide the hole that I managed to make in my fabric. But I'm really enjoying using this, and I'm really proud of it. Okay, my next whip is Autumn Pillow. So according to my October plans, so Autumn Pillow by Flossabilities, according to my October plans, this should have been finished. And actually, in terms of stitching time, it could have been finished, but I ran out of thread. So that plan went awry. I will show you how it's looking so far. Just take my needle minder off. So this is stitched on a DMC even weave 28 count ecru. I think I spoke last time how I was really conflicted about these two squares here, because the way I've done it dictates that this one should be orange and that one should be brown, but I thought the orange would work better with the apples and the brown would work better with the cup. And lovely Rachel at Talking Dog Stitcher commented on my last video, and she suggested a couple of things which I've gone with. So she suggested having this the steam from the cup in the dark brown, and then one or two of the apples maybe in the middle in the orange. So that's what I'm going with, and I've got enough of the orange. I could have carried on stitching the orange, but I got a bit fed up because I ran out of thread. So the orange is Cottage Garden threads in Chinese Lantern. the other one, annoyingly. I can't remember. I know it's called Acorn, and it's one of those, it's Weeks Dye Works or Classic Colour Works, I can't remember. I've got it somewhere. So I need to order another skein of that to be able to finish this. But as you can see, finishing this will not take long. I'm not going to do it now though. We're out of the season. This is going to be in next year's plans, which I'll probably talk to you about a bit more next episode. And that is in my Diary of a Wimpy Kid project bag, which is blowing out horribly in this light. Let's bring it. Oh no, the light doesn't like it. Anyway, it's a Diary of a Wimpy Kid project bag. Made this myself as well. Okay, need to stretch my leg. Sitting on the floor is uncomfortable. So the next thing I worked on was the stitch that I'm doing for my parents' wedding anniversary. So this is for the, it's looking lovely. So for the by Lila's Studio, this is free on her blog, I think, or her website. I did link it on my last video. I'll try and remember to link it again this time. If I forget and you're interested, just give me a nudge and I'll do that. So this, again, it's not called for colours, it's just some reds that I had in stash, a couple of extras I bought from Hobbycraft, DMC, the dark grey, which DMC number has now completely gone out of my head, even though I knew it a minute ago. I think you probably all know what it is. It's the one that's really close to 310, but it's a dark grey rather than a black. And I've got some gold to go in as well, as it's their golden wedding anniversary. I've left some bits unfilled where there's personalisations, because I've not yet decided what personalisation I'm doing. But yeah, that's coming on really well. So this will get touched again this month because there is a deadline for this and I would like to get it finished on time. Sorry, I should say that's on a 28 count antique white even weave fabric flare, and the needle minder on there is from Cotton and Clay, and it's sparkly and it's got bits of gold in it, so it is perfect for this project. The Cotton and Clay is on Etsy. Her shop is closed at the moment, but it's due to open again very soon, which I'm looking forward to because I think it's about time I treated myself to another needle minder. Sorry, that was the box squeaking. Excuse me. Next thing I pulled out was something I haven't touched for ages. I bought it on a whim, you know, the whole FOMO thing. Saw other people doing Mill Hill kits and thought I needed to do one as well a couple of years ago. And when I started it, I didn't really enjoy it very much, to be honest. It's quite different, isn't it, stitching on perforated paper to fabric, so I wasn't overly enjoying it, didn't get very far, just put it away. And then on Instagram a few weeks ago, Ellie at Stitching Bee showed that she'd started working on this same pattern, so it prompted me to get it back out. So it is Bewitching Pumpkin by Mill Hill, and again, very Halloweeny. And I got this out for a few days and my goodness, I loved it. So, oh, sorry, we can see. Let's see what I can put behind it. There. I loved it. So I don't know why I didn't enjoy it when I worked on it before, because this time around I could have sat and stitched on this for hours. So when I picked it up, all I had in was this brown bit here, little bit of pink down there, and I just started some black along the bottom. I really hadn't done very much at all, and I had this out for maybe 3 days, and as you can see, I have almost finished getting all the cross stitches in, and the only reason I didn't carry on with it was because I had that goals list from October hanging over my head and I felt like I needed to work on something else. I think if I'd stuck with this a few more days, I could really easily have finished it. So again, I'm not going to carry on with it now because we're way out of the season, but this again will feature in next year's plans because this is going to be a quick finish for me, hopefully. So that's all kit materials that come with the Mill Hill. I have some other things I want to stitch on perforated paper. I bought one of Michelle from Mama Love You GB's Owls last year, but the black perforated paper, it's like a unicorn. It's almost don't know, like a myth that it actually exists, because I haven't been able to buy it anywhere all year long. So that's a bit of a nuisance. But never mind, I'm sure it'll come back in stock eventually. I've forgotten to do my zip on this one, I apologise. Okay, next up is the gorgeous Anemone by Nora Corbett, which was my birthday present from my little sister. So I'm really enjoying this. I was so intimidated by the idea of stitching these fancy ladies, and I don't know why, because oh, just heaven. So just folded it up a bit. There's no point in seeing all the fabric, it's not got anything on it. So I have worked some more on her wing, as you can see, and I have gone under her arm to continue with that wing, and I've started putting in the neckline of her bodice, and we've got a bit of skin in as well, which I was really nervous about. I'm not doing 1/1. I know lots of people do, but for my first, it's not my first fancy lady, because I have got a Mirabilia freebie mermaid in my stash that I started, but for my first proper fancy lady, I just want to enjoy it, and I'm a bit scared of the 1/1, and working out in my head that 1 stitch on the chart is 4 stitches on the fabric is just too much. So we're doing 2/2. This is on 32 count, I know, Belfast Silvery Moon from Zweigart, which is gorgeous to work on. And yeah, the colours are right up my street. Really love these peacocky, jewelly tones. I think they're gorgeous. So yeah, she's looking brilliant. Had her out for a few days, and she seems to stitch up quite quickly as well, which I was really surprised by. So she will be coming out again this month for a few more days work. I think I might tackle the arm. I'm quite keen to get that arm in, so that might be my next job for her. But yeah, she's lovely, and she is living in a William Morris Strawberry Thief project bag, which I got, or my sister got me rather, from John Lewis in the UK. Which is gorgeous. It's a real shame actually, it's the only one they do. It'd be really nice if they did a few other designs. Right, this next one, have I got a cover? Yes, I have. Well done me. Right, so this is my last whip for October. It is Serenity by the Primitive Hair, and I started this one to join in with Rachel from Talking Dog Stitcher on her birthday. She started a stitch along called the Hair of the Dog Sale. I'll put the hashtag in the description underneath again if I remember. So I had a look at the Primitive Hairs patterns because I really wanted to join in. If I'm honest, I wasn't feeling lots of they're all quite dark and witchy themed, and just wasn't really feeling it. And then I went on, I think I got this from her website's PDF, and saw this one. I thought this is perfect. It means I can join in, but it's a bit more colourful, and it's something I can keep working on once October and November are over and done with quite happily. I am going to make some changes. I'm not going to stitch the word tea up there, and I think I'm not going to stitch that leaf. Originally I wasn't going to stitch this leaf either, but I think I am going to do that now. I've got the thread for it, but yeah, I think I'm going to stop at the top of the teacup. And excuse me, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do about the tea. I've not gone for called for colours. I've chosen some of my own. The tea in the pattern is a DMC thread, so I could just get the DMC thread if the ones I've got don't work. We shall see. So here it is. I'm really pleased with my progress on this one. I think this is gone. Let me just fold it over a bit. You don't need to see all the fabric again. So it's not easy to see. That side any better? Maybe. Just cover my face for a minute. There you go. So this is on a gorgeous coffee craft fabric, 28 count even weave, which is a bit more purple in real life. It's blowing out a bit with this bright light today, so the colours show up better in real life than you're seeing. I did originally buy this for one of my Mirabilias, but I've been really unsure about it, and actually I've bought my own Christmas present for my husband, which is a kit for the Mirabilia I've got, with a plainer fabric. So I then had this available to use, and I thought it would be perfect. So the colours that I'm using, I'll just show you. Some of them are called for. I believe the parchment is called for. That's the, out of the way, that's the teacup. So the parchment's called for. I bought this one, Classic Colourworks Tea and Biscuits, thinking that would be perfect for the tea, but actually it's not that different. Get that gold one out of the way. Just stuck it there because I had a few. Yeah, it's not. There's not much difference in them at all. So then I was thinking I could possibly hold one strand of the Tea and Biscuits with one strand of Weeks Dye Works Hazelnut. So I'm going to try that on a little scrap of fabric in the corner and see how it looks. And then if I'm not happy with it, I'll just get the DMC. But I fancied doing a all fancy threads stitch, so that's what I did. And that is being held in my project bag from Yasmin's Made with Love, which is huge. It barely fits in the screen. Spotty on the back. And I've got a lovely pin that I bought, wrong way, pin I bought in Florida this year at Disneyland, which is perfect because it's all about tea. So that's lovely. So that is my whips. Okay, on to acquisitions. I don't have many, been very good this month. I did do a big order of CXC threads from Rachel at Talking Dog Stitchery. I've now mentioned 3 times, so we're becoming the Rachel show. I ordered some to finish kitting up my dahlia, which I started, my Hade that I'm doing, I started over a year ago. Still haven't finished kitting it out properly. I'll show you that in a minute because that's part of my November plans. I got some for another planned start for next year. And then I've kitted up completely a pattern whose name I meant to look up and I forgot. It's a Jardin Privé pattern. It's a witch, might just be called Quaker Witch, not sure. So it's a Quaker style pattern, it's got a witch. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with it. You can always look on the website. Anyway, it comes in 2 different colourways. You can either stitch it black and grey or black and orange. I'm going for black and orange, and I've ordered myself some, can't remember what count this is, 18 count Ada Zweigart vintage sand. I wanted the background of the piece to be just a little bit dirty, just a little bit grubby, because it's witchy, and with the oranges and the black I think it will look really nice if you've got a bit of a grubby background. And if I'm completely honest, at the moment, I've got my husband's birthday, my daughter's birthday, Christmas is coming, I really couldn't afford to splash out and buy some hand dyed fabric, so I went with a bit of Zweigart, trusty old Zweigart instead. Got this from Florstube, is that right? Yeah, Florstube on Etsy. Very reasonably priced, arrived very nice and quickly, and it is perfect for it. This pattern though, I have to say, this happens to me a lot. I wonder if this happens to lots of you as well. I look at a pattern, love it, buy it, and then realise it is absolutely bloody huge. And for some reason in the pictures they never look that big, and then when you get them you're like, wow, that's a lot of stitching, it's a huge piece of fabric. So I think when I ordered this I expected I'd be able to cut it in half, and actually now I've measured it up, I'm going to need most of this fat quarter for my witch. So I ordered 2 skeins of each colour from Rachel for this, and there are only 3 colours. So we've got blacks and orangey browns. Oops. Blacks and orangey browns, which I think on here, I think that'll work really well. So yeah, happy with that. It looked really nice and autumnal, and I think I know Sherry at Just So Sherry's doing the same pattern, and she's doing black and oranges as well, and similar to her, I don't want it to be something that I work on for ages. You know, it's going to take a long time to stitch, and to spend such a long time stitching something and then to only be able to have it out for a week seems like a bit of a waste. So I've gone for the autumnal because then I can get it out for maybe the whole of October and a couple of weeks into November and really get some good use out of it when it's done, which probably won't be for quite a long time, but plans. Okay, my next acquisition was from D Stash on Facebook. and I've loved this pattern for ages. So this is Cottage Garden Samplings, Summer at the Shore. I believe quite a while ago now, Lindsay at Blushing Pink Stitches stitched this. I'm pretty sure she showed this on her Flosstube, and I just think it's gorgeous. I really love it. I've got a bit of an idea in my head about having a wall of cross stitch that are all seaside related. I don't know why. I don't live near the sea, but I do love the seaside. And how I think I'm going to stitch enough to decorate a whole wall, I don't know, but you know what we like all these plans and ideas. So yeah, he's gorgeous. So no immediate plans to start him, but I'm glad to have him in my stash for when I'm ready. And my last thing is the next section of my Little House Needleworks Log Cabin Christmas, and this is Mrs. Snow. It's chart number 7 in the series. So I've got 2 more to go because this is a 9-section pattern. And I'm thinking this might feature next year. Bearing in mind I've spent this year collecting the patterns, it'd be really nice to get on and get stitching it, I think. So yeah, loving these. So that's all my acquisitions. Have been quite good. I expect next month there might be even less, because Christmas spending will be in full flow and I shouldn't really be buying myself things as well, but we'll see how that goes. There might be 1 or 2. Okay, going on to plans for November. I am planning to get some more stitches in my Haid full coverage. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. She is called Quick Stitch Dahlia from Haid. She's in the Q snap at the moment, so I was working on her last night, so you can't see all of her, but I have I picked her up a couple of days ago. I'm working on this section here where her eye and a bit of blush is, and also I had loads of little, just a stitch here, a stitch there, a couple of stitches here that I hadn't done because I didn't have the right colour thread. So since I got my order in of CXC threads, I have started filling in those odd stitches as well, and just you can see here I've got some blue coming down. I just carry on the thread until it runs out, or until I get like down there. For me, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about the counting, so I've stopped there. So yeah, but just trying to use up the thread rather than do 1 or 2 stitches and finish it. So I started this with Royal Broderie, and I have still got lots of the Royal Broderie which I'll be using, but the colours that I bought to finish off kitting it up are CXC, and they don't seem any different in terms of coverage or comfort using them. They're both just as good as each other, so I'm quite happy with those. So yeah, I'm planning on 1500 stitches for her over November to try and get myself back on track. She needs to be at 50% by the end of this year so that I can have her finished by my daughter's birthday in November next year is the plan. I will be going back to my Holly Jolly kitchen, like I said to you. I'll be going back to For Thee and doing some days on that, and then I'm going to move into some Christmas stitching. Excuse me. So for my Christmas stitching, as well as the Holly Jolly kitchen, I'm going to go back to this. So I've got the Prairie Schooler Santa from 2022. So he needs some love. Really, I ought to finish him. He is on a 25 count even weave. Sorry if you can hear that car noise, I've got the window open. 25 count even weave, 2/2, so it's coming out quite large, but I like that. I'm still not keen on the green that I chose. Again, I just chose from stash, and I feel like the green is just a little bit bright. I may pick it out and restitch it, I may not, but I'm going to finish the rest of it first anyway. And I would like to get this finished this year. There's no reason why I can't get this finished this year, so that I think should be done by this Christmas. Whether it will be done in time to put it in a frame or not, I don't know, but I will try. Right, there's going to be crinkling now, sorry. So this is another Christmas stitch. So this is from Emma Louise Art Stitch. It is a little Christmas seagull. Said to you I was liking my seasidey theme and seagull themes. So a little Christmas seagull. Again, I bought this ages ago. Started it, didn't get very far. And then we was on a car journey a couple of weeks ago and I took this with me. And again, having had a big break from it, loved it. You're not going to be able to see a lot because there's a lot of white stitching on white fabric, but hopefully you see here there's a lot of white here where the breast of the bird is, but there are stitches there, I promise. So yeah, again, if I actually get on with it, I can finish this. So those are my plans. 1500 stitches in Dahlia, get a few more days in for thee, and then Christmas stitching. Holly Jolly we know I'm not going to keep up with, but we'll do a bit, and then try to finish this and try to finish my Prairie School of Santa before the end of the year, before Christmas ideally, is what we plan to do. Okay, last bits. I don't have a cake with me today, which is really annoying because I do have cake downstairs. I made cake for my husband's birthday. It wasn't my best cake, if I'm honest, in terms of presentation and appearance, but it tasted delicious, and there is a slice downstairs that he will be having when he comes in from work this morning because he's just finishing up a night shift, and I meant to bring it up and show you, but I completely forgot. But it's another Nigella Lawson. I love my Nigella Lawson recipes. I will try and make sure I have something seasonal, Christmassy to show you next time I come on, maybe a nice cupcake or something. I have, sorry, I keep leaning out of shop, I've got stuff all over the place around me. I have a finished pair of socks to show you for my knitting. So here they are. So these are the Scrappy Quilt Socks by Kay at the Bakery Bears, and I have just used odd scraps of yarn that I had left over from other projects. These were fun to knit, really enjoyed these. I don't get on very well with pattern socks. I much prefer, generally speaking, just plain ones, but I loved making these. Did the magic loop, which is unusual for me as well, but yeah, they're really nice, and I will be wearing one of these tomorrow because tomorrow at the school where I work we are celebrating anti-bullying week, and tomorrow we are all wearing odd socks to show that different is okay. So I'll be wearing one of these with another hand knit sock for my odd socks tomorrow, which will be fun. And in terms of books, I have recently finished this. So Jenny Colgan, An Island Wedding. This was delightful to read. They're right up my street. I do like all those sort of cult books that everyone talks about on BookTube and you see on Instagram and stuff, and you know, they've got strong messages and morals and all that stuff. I do like them, but I also really love a chilled out, relaxing rom-com that I don't need to think about. I can just enjoy it, and that's what this was. Really nice and relaxing to read. I have read other books from this series. I don't think I've read all the books from the series. I think I might have missed a couple, but it didn't matter at all. And I think even if you'd not read any of the series, you could pick this up and really enjoy it. It was just lovely and cozy and warm and joyful. So I really enjoyed reading this. It didn't take me terribly long. I'm on a Kindle book now called Hexapil, I believe, which I'm also really enjoying. So I will talk to you a bit more about that next time. But yes, highly recommend Jenny Colgan, An Island Wedding. And when I finish Hexapil, I'm getting on to my Christmas reading because I have got a stack of Christmas books that I need to try and get through. Okay, anything else? I don't think so. I think we are done. As I said, I've got a bit of a busy month. We've just had my husband's birthday. My daughter's birthday is at the end of next week. So there will be cake baking, and she's having a sleepover, so I need to clear out a room ready for her and her friends to sleep in, and there will be all sorts going on. I have family round one day to celebrate. She will no doubt want to go out and spend her birthday money, and then we are well into Christmas planning. So lots going on, but hopefully I'll still squeeze in an hour or two of stitching each day if I can, and have plenty to show you next time. So look forward to seeing you again at the beginning of December, ready for hopefully some more stitching progress, and perhaps then we'll discuss what my plans for 2025 are as well, because I know everyone's starting to think about that now. Anyway, have a lovely day. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I will see you again soon.